Hello everyone, this is Sharmin Khan from Milkyway Art Design. So today's video is a little bit different. First of all, before I start, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being my rock, for supporting me. Today my channel is 5,000 subscribers strong, and this is only possible because of each and every one of you. If you're joining me today for the first time, welcome to my channel. If you're with me for a while, thank you so much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you. So on the lot of the videos, many of you are asking me to show you how I mix my paint. So today's video is all about, I'm going to show you how I mix my pouring medium and then how I mix my paint. So for my pouring medium, I use deep base Behr, but the thing is I usually use 8300, but this one says 2-8300. For some reason I could not find anything with just 8300. Is there any difference? I'm not sure. But one thing I noticed that if I don't use it for a while, it kind of, the oil on the top separates. So what I do is I mix it before I pour it. I never noticed that before when it was only 8300. Probably it was happening before, but I don't know if it's different or not from the 8300. I should have saved my old containers to check on the ingredients, which I didn't, because I never thought that they will discontinue just the 8300. I'm not sure if they even discontinued. It's just I could not find it in my local Home Depot. So I just bought two 8300. So this is the consistency of the deep base Behr. So for my pouring medium, what I need is 2 of this. So I will take 2 of the proportions. So I'm going to use these for easier instructions. So I'm going to fill it up. As you can see, it's kind of messy, but that's okay, because you don't need to do it all the time. I just make a batch and I use that as long as I can last them. So I kind of ran out and I need to make some more because there are some color ideas coming in my head. And I need some more pouring medium for that. So I need 2 of these. So I have 2 of these proportions. Now let me just give me a second to clean up my spatula. Since I'm not going to dip it in here, the second part is Josonia's varnish. This one, if I run out, probably I'm not going to buy it anymore, because I think I can get by without this one. I'm using this right now because I already bought this one. As I was practicing bloom, I bought anything and everything I could find that people are actually, why do I need this spoon? I don't. So I can just, that's what happened when you record yourself and pouring your stuff. So that's that. The third item that I'm going to use, and I'm going to wipe my spoon before I dip my spoon inside. I am going to use Minwax polyacrylic clear gloss. And that's what we have. Oops, I spilled a little. That's okay. Pouring, a paint pouring is always a messy job. It's never a clean art. If you are very tidy and neat and clean, probably this is not your hobby. That's for sure. Because this is an addictive hobby. And either you spend your time cleaning or creating. Of course, I'm going to create rather than cleaning. Okay, so here I will dump everything and mix. And 2 of the bear. So now I mix it well. So this is my pouring medium. This is my pouring medium. That is if I'm mixing my paint, not pigment. Keep it in mind. If I'm mixing my paint, not pigment. Okay. One more thing I want to share with you is you can also use, what is the other one? You can also use Gidden. This is also Gidden semi-gloss base 3. So the difference, I have used that too, but my suggestion is I would use that when I'm just doing my basic paint, because this one I find thicker. So the bear is thicker than the Gidden. So for modified bloom, I will use this one. For regular bloom, I can use this one. Just wanted to share that with you. So now, just give me a second. I will put away everything and then I'll show you how I mix my paint. So now that I put away everything, I'm going to show you how I mix this one. I'm going to mix just a paint. Here I'm going to mix paint and pigment, and this one I'm going to mix just pigment. So this is my pouring medium I just made. Take a tiny bit of it. And let's mix this one. I just bought it the other day. It's like so pretty. Perfect consistency. This is what I'm looking for. When I drop it, it's mound and a mound and a mound. And the mound is kind of like dripping. You can even see that it's dripping. Anyway, so again, you can see the crease on the mound, on top of the mound. So that's the perfect consistency. That's my paint. Next one is pigment. This one I am going to mix paint and pigment together. So what I do, take some pouring medium and I am going to add some pigment. So let's see, this is Sangria from TLP. So pretty. Probably I need a tiny bit more. Ooh. I should not have done it, but did it. So this is my pigment. As you can see, it's very liquidy. It's perfect for a regular bloom or deconstructed bloom, things like that. But it's not okay for the modified bloom. So what I do is I add some painting or acrylic paint to this mixture, and of course must make sure that this is either transparent or semi-transparent. If it's opaque, the shimmer is basically wasted because you cannot get much shimmer. See, when I mix the painting with the paint with the pigment, what a rich color I have. And I think I need a little bit more pouring medium, so let me add some. When I mix my pigment, it's a good idea to let it sit for maybe some time, 2-3 hours, because you want to make sure all the pigments are dissolved into the medium. So again, perfect consistency. You can see this is my paint plus pigment. Now let me show you how I mix just my pigment. Such a beautiful shimmer. But this is the problem. When I drop it, it's more liquidy. So this is what I do. And this is what I do when I have only pigment. I add a tiny bit of triple thick rust-oleum polyurethane to make it thicker. By the way, I want to add a tiny bit of pigment on that one. And that's how I mess around with colors, because I just add this to that and something happens. See? This is my pigment mix. It's liquid, it's not thick enough. So I am going to add a tiny bit of this into that mixture. As you can see, it's very thick actually. To be honest with you, I rarely use just pigment by itself. So now you can see that it's thicker than before, and you can see all those squiggly lines on top of the mountain. And this is my mixture. Next segment of the video, you will see that I am going to show you what color I mix with what pigment. Just to give you an idea, I usually buy some colors or some acrylic paints, which the colors I like very much, and I bought some couple, not too many, because these pigments are very expensive. So I bought some from Little TLP and some from Primary Element. Then I just mix and match with different what's it called, acrylic paint, to get different color combination. So that's how basically I mix my paint. In the second part, which was recorded another day, I wanted to show you how I mix my base coat and also some of the color combinations that I create using pigments, mixing pigments and paints. So I just wanted to share everything in the same video. So the other day when I went to Walmart, I found this color which is called Fossil Gray, and it's in satin finish, Color Press brand, again, which is from Walmart, and it was on sale for $5 for a gallon, which was a stealer. So I grabbed that, and today I'm going to use that. When I opened it, the layers were separated because it's been sitting on the shelf for a while, and I of course did not ask them to mix it for me because then I'll have tons of bubbles. So I bought it as it is, and at this point I am mixing it for at least 3 minutes manually, as much as I can. And I'm telling you, it's not still perfect. It needs to go way longer than 3 minutes, but I'm just showing you how I did that. So pretty much at this point you can see that it's well mixed, and I'm using the sticks you guys can get from Home Depot. So those are very handy. Whenever I go there, I'll grab 1 or 2 every time I go there. to use those for this purpose. When you mix them, make sure you're mixing them very well and all the layers are integrated. It's not going to be like how they do it on the machine, but it's pretty darn close. So take your time at this level to make sure that you mix it very, very well. Now let me put away the paint and I will show you what I mix with my base coat. It's not too complicated. At the beginning I used to measure them a perfect percent, but now I just eyeball them. So you saw that how much paint I took, and with that I am just adding a dash of GAC 800. It is supposed to help you with the creasing or cracking, because when you do these things or this method, sometimes you have thicker paint here and there. It's not that I don't get any cracks anymore, but it reduces the chances of getting cracks. So with that I added some GAC 800 and tiny bit of another dash of, I should say, Floetrol, and that's it. When you mix these three, make sure you're mixing them very well. They have to be like perfectly mixed all together, otherwise you will have cracks, so that's very important. I usually use the 1 liter yogurt containers and make a batch, and I use them as long as it takes to finish. Then I'll make another batch. So that's how I go. So now I'm going to show you a couple of color combinations that I mixed earlier. This should give you some ideas like how I mix. So the first one that you see, this one has primary elements hot cinnamon, which is a pigment, mixed with Liquitex Basics Professional Series Quintagrown Red Orange. So I mixed those two to achieve the color that you see in my hand, which is really pretty. So this is just so what I do is, bottom line, I buy some nice pigments and I buy some nice acrylic paint, and then I mix and match and I achieve different colors in different days. So it's perfectly fine. And if you, well, in the picture it doesn't show that off closely, but if you see my paintings in bare eyes, you will see that each and every paint that I create, the colors are different. They are not the same combination. The second one that you see, it's the pigment from TLP, so Shangria. I mixed with Shangria a couple of drops of ink, Liquitex ink, which is Quintagrown Magenta. By the way, this one, since it doesn't have any acrylic paint, this one has 50% of my pouring medium and 50% of the XXX polyurethane to get the right consistency. The next one that you see, this one has a pomegranate from a primary element mixed with dioxazine purple from Liquitex Basic. Next color is mixed with Josonia's Burgundy, which is a acrylic paint mixed with hot cinnamon from primary element, which is a pigment. This one is Artist Loved Heavy Body Quintagrown Blue Violet mixed with Shangria pigment from TLP. This is my most favorite color so far, which is Groovy pigment from TLP, and I mixed this with Quintagrown Magenta Liquitex Basics. Actually, no, I used Professional series on this one. And I love this color. Yes, I used the Professional series Quintagrown Magenta. The color or the pigment Groovy, this is actually, you can use it with anything and you'll get beautiful colors. The green that I mixed, I used Primary Elements, what's it called, olive vine, mixed with Art Minds, what's it called, Candy Apple. I think it's the same as Modern Masters Candy Apple, so it's the same thing, so you can use those instead of this one. I have to tell you one thing, I love this pigment, but these tends to bleed, so be careful with this one, make it thicker. Today the consistency that I have, I might bleed a little, it should be even thicker, but I don't want to work with more thicker paint than this. So now I am going to pour on this 6 by 6 inch tile, and the colors I'm going to use is green gold from Golden. The second one is two pigments mixed together. One is Shy Rose and the other one is I think Firefly or something from Primary Element. The third color that I'm using is Sangria from TLP mixed with Artist Loft Professional series Quintagrown Blue Violet, which is a really pretty color. So those are the three colors I'm going to use. Also, I am using the base coat, which is Fossil Gray from Color Place, Walmart brand. I have tiny bit of GAC 800 and American Floetrol mixed into the base coat just to make it a tiny bit thinner. So this is the green gold from Golden. I just started with that color. And this one is called Viridian, and I think it's from Creative Inspiration. Yes, I bought this color from Jerry's Art Aroma, which was on sale. So this is the first time I'm using it. We'll see how it goes. And the rest of the video, I am going to just stop talking and I would let you enjoy and put on some music. So thank you again so much for watching me and supporting me.